Hello Internet, welcome to NerdChat. Are you ready for the finale of Superman Batman? I say the finale, this series does continue for significantly longer, but this is the wrap-up of the first arc. So, this starts off with Batman and Superman meeting with the current Toyman, a 13-year-old boy named Hero. Both Superman and Batman's thoughts are mostly recap right now, so there's nothing really of note. But Toyman says that they were right to come to him. All the other brilliant minds in the world would have come to the same conclusion. That asteroid has to be destroyed, but he's the only one that can really make the rocket to do it. Toyman saw Luthor's first attempt and knew that it failed because of the radiation, so he had to make a rocket that would be able to withstand it. He says he's too young to die. He wants to live long enough to make out with Starfire at least once. So he chose the composite Superman Batman rocket that is made of Metallo. Not the villain Metallo, but the same metal that he is named after, that Metallo is made out of. Because it can repair itself, and that will help it to get close enough to not be destroyed by the radiation. So Superman had the idea of Toyman to build this when they were fighting Metallo earlier, and Batman has provided the funds to Hero to do so. They ask him if he knows where the villain Metallo is, because Batman still needs answers, but Toyman said he wouldn't tell him even if he did. So Superman has a moment of weakness because the radiation is starting to reach Earth. So the moment right after that, though, when he's weakened, Captain Atom appears with Bruce's kryptonite ring and knocks out Superman by focusing his energy through the ring and blasting him. So Adam explains that he needs to be the one to pilot the rocket. The future Superman explained that their plan is good, but the flaw was that they were not able to, the radiation still made to Earth. So Captain Adam has to be the one to pilot it, and then he can try to absorb as much of the radiation to save Earth. So he had to knock out Superman because he knew that Superman would want to go himself, but Superman needs to stay here. So Batman lets Captain Atom be the pilot. At this time, Lex Luthor is in his, Lexo suit, and he's announcing to the world that it's absurd that an alien can come to his planet and defy the orders of the President of the United States. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick," and this armor that he's currently in is that stick. Superman comes flying in and attacks Luthor, telling him he's really glad that Lex took this step, so that the whole world can see how evil he really is. Lex says if Superman wants to be a self-declared savior, then it's time he died for his sins. As they fight, Superman asks Lex, when does all this end? When does he stop believing his own lies? And then Superman answers for him with a powerful blow and says it ends today. Lex, mocking him, says that it's different now, being able to engage him in combat. No more fancy suits, this armor is his cape, tailored in the fires of apocalypse. And Superman says that Lex should know better than to deal with Darkseid. He's tried to warn him against this. A thought that Superman has at this moment is, with all of Luthor's wealth and influence, that he's been allowed to trample the law unscathed. And even Bruce, who has more wealth than Lex, he would never be able to get away with half of what Lex has. He even wondered if he should have meddled in the election to make sure that Luthor never became president. But now we can find out why Lex has been able to grow to power. And that's because, Lex tells Superman that he has always been working with Darkseid. Darkseid has always been his ally. Technology, influence, anything that he needs has always been provided by Darkseid. He's even the one who made Lex aware of the asteroid coming to Earth to begin with. So during the fight, Captain Atom has been making a final captain's log. I just realized he's a captain. He's been making this final log as he's ready to face his end. He talks about the choices that he made. And he's not sure if what he did was right, but he stands by them all the same because he was just doing what he thought was best at the time. And he talks about the team that he chose and the reasons that he picked everyone on it. He brought on Major Force to keep him to his duty. He brought on John Stewart to watch Major Force. Starfire he brought on for her passion, while Black Lightning for his level-headedness. And Katana and Power Girl's loyalty to Batman was to keep him in check. He asks all that he's asking for is to be forgiven for only wanting to be a hero as beloved as Superman. Because Captain Atom, while he's been a bit of an antagonist during this, he's never wanted to have to bring in Superman or Batman. And he tried to, combat Lex pretty much the whole way, but, Lex, obviously made his threats that we covered earlier, and he didn't have a lot of choice, so he just had to do his duty. But he makes the right choice in the end, and that's what's important. So, as Superman knocks Lex into his own building, Captain Atom destroys the asteroid. But now it's Batman's turn. So, before the presidency, Lex had made a grab for power in Gotham, and Bruce Wayne naturally stopped him, because he knows that what Lex truly is, whether or not the public believed he was a villain. So, but Lex did not take well to Bruce's attempts to stop him, so he did his best to destroy Bruce's reputation. And it took about a year for Bruce to clear his name and get his life back, and Lex never paid for that, but he is now. Lex is panicking in his own building, wondering where everyone is. This is his building. Where is everything and everyone? Everything's been cleared out. All of his people are gone. And Batman tells him that everything that he just told Superman was broadcast to the world. And as of this morning, Bruce Wayne has acquired LexCorp. He bought everything. He bought this building, and Bruce Wayne wants him out. So now everyone knows his plans, his lies, and all of his assets are frozen. He is penniless. So Luthor, in a rage, asks Batman if he remembers what it's like when Bane broke his back, because he's been pumping himself full of a combination of kryptonite and Bane's venom. So that's that stuff that we've been seeing him injecting himself with. And so he then distracts Batman by asking why it is that he hasn't solved the crime of the century yet. Who is it that killed the Waynes? Where's John Corbin? And while Bruce is distracted by that statement, Lex stabs him with like a knife that comes out of his his wrist. So Batman, in a rage, kicks Lex out of a window, demanding to tell him what he knows. So Lex says that he'll tell him everything if he just pulls him up, and Batman says he'll pull him up, but Lex is still going to jail. So Lex lets go and decides to fall. And when he does, a boom tube opens up around the entire building, like right in the middle, and it causes Lex's entire building to collapse. So Superman arrives to get Batman out, and he's already cleared the radius of civilians. Now they're standing on top of the Daily Planet, and they get to see the remains of the asteroid falling to Earth, knowing that Captain Atom has succeeded. Superman and Batman are unable to find any trace of Luthor as they search through all the rubble, and now, as we close out, we see like the news articles that are coming out, like the headlines from the Daily Planet. So Clark Kent gets to write the end of the presidency for Lex Luthor, like how he went down, what happened, and Batman thinks that it's fitting that Clark is the one that gets to write it. And then Superman's thinking about Batman, because Batman knows that he won't give up until he finds Metallo, which neither of them can find a trace of, but they'll find him eventually. So the comic comes to a close as both of them are thinking somehow if Lex ever returns, that he'll be more dangerous than ever. I did miss one thing. So Batman wants like Superman to stay low for a little while he like gathers heroes to go clean up as much kryptonite as they can. But naturally, there's a whole lot more kryptonite laying on the planet. But so the comic comes to its end with it panning down, talking about if Lex somehow survived and if he ever returns, he'll be more dangerous than ever. And we see Lex like crazed in the eyes, and he's climbing through debris. And that's where it comes to an end. So I hope that you all had a great time with this comic. I really enjoy reading it. Like I said, there is a movie that does like cover these events. They're a little bit off from the comic, but it's still cool to watch. But I also definitely recommend reading the comic, because it really does dive deep into how Batman and Superman see each other, and that's probably the most rewarding thing about the comic. I could not cover everything that they did, because these videos would be fucking half an hour long each. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and so the thing that I just want to give my thoughts on it a little bit. I always enjoy Batman and Superman together, because like I've stated a few times in these videos, they are like night and day. Superman is this beacon of hope that shines brightly and rises above us all, while Batman is someone who lurks in the shadows and the sewers. And I mean, these characters have been around for a long time. Everyone knows what they are, but it's always fascinating to see them compared to each other. But showing how much respect they have for each other is what is rewarding about reading them in a team up. But that's all I got to say on this. I've spread my thoughts a few times throughout these videos. So I hope that you all had a good time. I hope that you'll check out the comic yourselves. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out. But it was a very, very rewarding read. And there's a lot more to this series, and I probably will cover them later. I definitely want to do... there's another comic after this that covers Superboy and Robin that I definitely want to check out. So I'll get to that at some point. I think the comics that I'm doing after this are an Iron Man and Thor team-up. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, all that noise. Also, if you want to talk to me directly or recommend any videos that you would like me to do, you can always talk to me in my Discord, which is also linked below. So I hope to hear from you all then. I hope to talk to you later, and I hope that you stick around. So thank you for coming, and goodbye.